In Urdu we say aap kahan gaye? So she said where did you go? So do we need to say where did you go? No. In English we'll say it only once, or otherwise you say, oh gosh, please walk slowly. Now in Urdu we say aista chalo. So we've got the double words in Urdu, but in English if you say walk slowly, that's okay. You don't need to say walk slowly. Problem is we think in Urdu, then we translate that into English, and then we've got certain difficulties. Difficulties are we don't know the English of some words. Therefore, people usually ask me when I became teacher, they tried to puzzle me by asking, what is the English of jalebi? How can we speak English into English? And how do we understand English into English? That takes time. So if your self-talk is in English, then most definitely things are going to be different. Self-talk, try to comment on things you see around you for the time being in English. Okay, there is a common question and a common difficulty when it comes to learning English. People often share their problem with me, and they say, sir, the problem is we think in English, in Urdu, or we think in native language, and after that we have to translate those ideas into English, and sometimes it becomes difficult. We don't find appropriate words and all that. Do you have similar type of problem or issues? Yeah? Okay, so that is why sometimes your English becomes very funny, because you translate from Urdu to English. Like once upon a time when I used to teach spoken English in a small college, and there I went on vacation for a week. After a week I came back, and there was that one student of mine. She was very eager to know where did sir go and what did he do and all that. And I said, well guys, last week I was on vacation, so I couldn't come. And one of the students asked me this question, sir, where did you go? You know, in Urdu we say aap kahan gaye? So she said, where did you go? So do we need to say where did you go? No. In English we'll say it only once, or otherwise you say, oh gosh, please walk slowly. Walk slowly. Now in Urdu we say aista chalo. We never say aista chalo. We say aista chalo. So we've got the double words in Urdu, but in English if you say walk slowly, that's okay. You don't need to say walk slowly. Right? And in the beginning when I started my teaching career, many students were not aware of such phrases, and I was asking general questions. So there was a student, a boy. I said, hey gentleman, what's up? He looked up and said, sir, fan, tube light, and many other things. Okay. So what's up? Now what's up doesn't mean what's up. Now we've got WhatsApp as well. I'm talking about like 2003, 4, 5, and don't guess my age with that. Okay. So anyways, now the problem is we think in Urdu, then we translate that into English, and then we've got certain difficulties. Difficulties are we don't know the English of some words. Therefore, people usually ask me when I became teacher, they tried to puzzle me by asking, what is the English of jalebi? Yeah, and some, they didn't stop. They said, sir, what is the English of lota? I said, okay, I'll tell you. And then I did some research and I found these words and all that stuff. Remember one thing, the most comfortable way is to speak English into English. Most comfortable. Now, you will ask me this question, how? That's difficult. That's really difficult. How can we speak English into English? And how do we understand English into English? That takes time. When I started learning French language, I was a French language student here in Punjab University. So what happened at that time, my teacher taught me French, and she translated French into English. I mean, the course I did, it was a certificate course in French language, 1 year. And the teacher taught me French, like teacher said, bonjour. Bonjour means good morning, good day. Comment allez-vous? How are you? Now for me, I was also the same. Like for me, option was bonjour, good morning, subah bakhair. Comment allez-vous? How are you? Aapka kya haal hai? But then I thought I should try to learn these phrases English into English. And that is only possible if you are going to think in English. You know, your self-talk, or we also call it heart-to-heart talk. If your self-talk is in English, at the moment, by the way, when I'm speaking English into English. In the past, I used to translate, right? So if your self-talk is in English, then most definitely things are going to be different. Once a student came to my class, he was on trial. You know, trial students, they ask many questions. He asked me a question, and at that time I thought it's a foolish question. His question was, sir, do you dream in English? Do you dream in English? And I thought, what a foolish question it is. Actually, he wanted to know my caliber of English. Like, if a teacher is going to dream in English, that means he has adopted English as a language. But if your dreams are in Punjabi or your native language, means you have not adopted the language. So now my dreams are mixed. Some are English, some are Urdu. And I've got this habit, like sometimes in my dream I'm delivering a lecture in English. IELTS lecture and all that. So self-talk. Self-talk. Try to comment on things you see around you for the time being in English. Okay, for example, I'm doing self-talk. All right. I like his hairstyle. I will ask him after the class how he has made this hairstyle. Oh, this t-shirt is very nice. Yeah, I'll ask him where has he bought this t-shirt. Boundless. Oh, good one. Color is nice. What is it? Self-talk. You're not talking loudly, in your heart. You know what I'm thinking now. All right. So this self-talk or self-commentary will help you a lot. Now, let's do some practice of this thing before we come into some activities. Now, whatever I say, you have to think. You have to visualize. Visualization is the best way. You know, your brain does not understand language. Your brain understands images which are associated with words. Right? Brain has no language. Brain has images. Brain works well in images. Okay? So, for example, if I say... all right, let's think about a black crow. A black crow. And a black crow is sitting on a green tree. Black crow sitting on green tree. Do you understand? Yeah? Do you visualize the things? Okay, and you know, it's sometimes not in our control. And by the way, your brain will fetch you the ideas through these images. Now, question. What did you eat for breakfast today? What did you eat for breakfast today? So, do you know that? Yeah? Now, how did the answer come? Through images. Some of you saw egg. Some of you saw slices. Some of you saw tea. Some of you saw nothing because you didn't have breakfast. Okay, so your brain is going to give you the answers in the form of images, and then you're going to process those images into words, and hence you speak the language. So if you think in English, and that is possible, commentary. If you're going to comment on things, I mean the language of your subconscious mind, if you're going to comment on things in English, then you will be able to speak English comfortably. And one more thing, one language cannot be translated into another language using the same phrases. Now, if you translate what is up, it has got different translation. If you translate 3 words, what is up? But when you say what's up, it's a phrase. So instead of learning English from words, you should learn English from phrases. You should learn English phrases, English sentences, and the best way is you can do it through movies. You can watch some English movies, animated movies, Seasons, you guys watch, some of you watch. You can listen to the songs. That is my favorite song. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. Have you heard that song? Yeah, it's a very nice song. So when you listen to the lyrics of the song, then you learn the phrases directly. And when you watch movies, you're watching actions, and that's the best way to pick up those sentences and then use them in your English. We call them natural phrases. It will take time, but by the time when you start speaking English into English, that will be the time that you have learned English, or you will have learned English by that time into the future. All good? Yes. So now I want you to just take 30 seconds, look around the room and do some commentary in your heart in English. Just take 30 seconds, English commentary in your heart. Okay? So like this, whenever you read an English book, try to understand English into English. If you are traveling, looking outside the window, do all the commentary in English and you'll be fine with it. Okay? Thank you so much.